Introduction to the village of Eda. Eda is a village at the crossroads of trade routes, a lively place where traders and locals haggle for goods under the warm sun. The air is filled with the scent of spices, fresh produce, and the murmur of voices. Though the market is colorful and energetic, there is a lingering tension. The indigenes eye the foreign traders with suspicion, not fully trusting the newcomers and their goods. The locals have their own way of doing business, and outsiders are often seen as intruders. The marketplace is divided into sections. The local vendors dominate the area, offering simple, handmade crafts, food, and textiles. A few foreign traders, like the ones from the neighboring villages, are scattered throughout, their goods just as vibrant but perceived as less authentic by the villagers. The resentment toward outsiders is palpable, but the village still needs the trade to thrive. Merima's introduction. Into this charged atmosphere arrives Merima, a striking woman from a distant village. She's tall, with sharp, graceful features that make heads turn as she walks through the market. She sets up her stall in a corner, an unusual spot, but she doesn't mind. Her presence alone draws attention, her beauty and mysterious aura piquing curiosity. Her stall is unlike any the villagers have seen before. Bright fabrics in patterns the locals have never encountered hang from the edges of her booth. Exotic spices, neatly arranged in small bags, emit a fragrance so rich it competes with the surrounding smells. Intricate beadwork in shades of emerald, gold, and ruby catches the sunlight, glimmering like a treasure trove. Merima smiles warmly as she sets everything in place. Her eyes sparkle with confidence and grace. She greets the first few villagers with a soft voice, and despite the lingering resentment they feel toward outsiders, they find themselves drawn to her. Her stall stands out, both in the way it's set up and in the quiet, calm energy she exudes. As the sun climbs higher, more and more people start to gather, intrigued by the foreign goods and the strange woman who offers them. Instant success and envy. Before long, Merima's stall becomes the focal point of the market. Her fabrics are unlike anything the villagers have ever seen, brighter, smoother, and with patterns they can't even begin to replicate. The spices she offers have an exotic fragrance that captures the senses, and the intricate beadwork she has created tells stories the locals have never heard before. She talks to each customer individually, takes time to listen to their needs, and offers them something special. A bond begins to form between her and the people, and soon, word of her stall spreads across the village. The local women, particularly On, feel the sharp sting of jealousy. On is a skilled artisan herself, known for her beadwork and fabric making, but her goods have never sold as well as Merima's. She watches with growing resentment as her stall, along with those of the other vendors, slowly empties while Merima's is packed with people. On is used to being the center of attention in Eda. She has built her business over the years, but Merima's sudden rise seems to threaten everything On has worked for. Whispers spread amongst the women who are also beginning to feel left out, their stalls ignored in favor of the newcomer. They begin to plot, meeting in secret to discuss how to rid the market of this foreign presence, whose success is unraveling their own. Merima, unaware of the brewing hostility, continues to greet customers with her gentle smile, unaffected by the envy that simmers just below the surface. But the tension is growing, and something is about to snap in the village of Eda, the first act of sabotage. The sun rises the next morning, casting a golden glow over Eda's market. But when Merima arrives at her stall, her heart sinks. Her vibrant fabrics are torn, shredded, and scattered across the ground as though someone had gone through the trouble of destroying them deliberately. The intricate beadwork she had worked so hard on is scattered like broken jewels, and the exotic spices she had carefully packaged are overturned, their fragrant contents spilled into the dirt. Merima's hands tremble as she tries to gather the remains of her goods. Her eyes scan the market, and she knows, this is no accident. She feels the eyes of the local women watching her from their stalls, some with hidden smirks, others pretending not to notice. Merima takes a deep breath and approaches the market union to report the damage. She explains what happened, asking for help, hoping someone will show support for the stranger who is only trying to make an honest living. But the response she gets is anything but sympathetic. The union members, men and women alike, dismiss her complaints with cold indifference. "You'll have to get used to it," one of them says dismissively. "You're not from here. You can't expect things to be easy. Blend in, respect the way things have always been done, and you won't have trouble." The words are a bitter blow to Merima. They are a clear message: the village doesn't want her, and they are willing to let her struggle to make a point. Merima's resolve. Merima stands silent for a moment, taking in their words. She could leave, pack up her store, and move on to another village. It would be easy, and perhaps the safer option. But something inside her refuses to give up so easily. She is not just a vendor, she is a woman of integrity, a woman who came here to offer something different, to bring a new way of trading to Ada. Her spirit is tested, but her resolve hardens. She spends the next several days carefully repairing the damage to her goods, working late into the night to ensure the fabrics are mended, the beadwork is restored, and her stall is as vibrant as it was before. As she sets up once more, the market women watch from a distance, muttering among themselves, their envy simmering just beneath the surface. Despite the sabotage, Merima's reputation for high-quality goods begins to grow. Her stall, though small, is consistently busy. People from other villages who had heard of her offerings stop by to see for themselves, and many return, becoming regular customers. Slowly, word spreads that she is a woman of skill and dedication. But with each new customer she gains, the resentment from the local women grows stronger. They see their own business slipping away as Merima's reputation grows, and they know that something must be done to stop her once and for all. On threat. One afternoon, as Merima is arranging her fabrics, a shadow falls over her stall. She looks up to see On standing before her, arms crossed, a stern look on her face. Merima can sense the tension in the air, the bitterness that radiates from On. "I see you've managed to fix everything," On says, her voice sharp. "But you're making things difficult for everyone here. You're taking away customers, and that's something we can't allow." Merima stands tall, refusing to show fear. "I'm just offering my goods, nothing more," she replies, her voice steady. "I'm not trying to harm anyone. I only wish to trade fairly." On narrows her eyes, her lips curling into a sly smile. "I'm offering you a way out," she says, leaning in closer. "Direct 70% of your customers to me, and I'll leave you alone. You can continue your business, and we can all be happy. Refuse, and, well, let's just say things will get much worse." Merima feels a chill run down her spine. The threat is clear, and for a moment, she considers the offer. It would mean survival. It would mean peace. But then she remembers the promise she made to herself, to trade honestly, to stand by her work, and to never compromise her integrity for the sake of convenience. With a calm resolve, Merima meets On's gaze. "I won't do that. My customers come to me because of my goods, not because of any deal or arrangement. I will not compromise my integrity." On's smile fades, replaced by a cold glare. "You've made your choice," she says quietly, turning to leave. "But know this, Merima. You've made an enemy today, and I always get what I want." As On walks away, the weight of her words lingers in the air. Merima knows the battle is far from over, but she is determined not to back down. The market may be against her, but her spirit remains unbroken. Introduction of May. It's a quiet morning in Ada when Merima notices a woman slowly making her way through the market. She's elderly, her back slightly hunched with age, but there's a strength in her eyes, a quiet wisdom that draws Merima's attention. The woman, dressed in a simple robe adorned with traditional patterns, approaches her stall. Merima greets her warmly, but the woman's gaze lingers on the goods before her. There's something about the way she studies the fabrics, the beadwork, and the spices, as though she can see beyond the surface. Your work is beautiful, the woman says, her voice soft but firm. I've seen many traders come and go, but your goods are something special. Merima smiles, grateful for the compliment, but a deep weariness lingers in her heart. She knows the woman's words are kind, but they don't change the hostility and sabotage she faces. I appreciate your kindness, Merima says. But it's not easy to keep going. The local women, they don't like me here. They've destroyed my goods, mocked me, and now they're trying to force me to leave. The woman's eyes narrow, understanding in them. She steps closer, lowering her voice to a whisper. I've seen this before, she says. When outsiders like you come to a place like Ada, there is always resistance. People fear change, fear what they don't understand. But that doesn't mean you should back down. Merima looks up at the woman, feeling a glimmer of hope. What should I do then? I've tried everything. I can't fight them all on my own. The woman smiles knowingly. Sometimes, you don't have to fight alone. My name is Eme. I've lived here for many years and have seen how things work in this village. I've also seen women like you struggle against the tide. But there's a way to make things right. Merima's decision. Eme takes a seat beside Merima, her eyes scanning the bustling market with a thoughtful expression. The village of Ada has its ways, she continues. The market is only one part of the bigger picture. If you truly want to be heard, you must go to the heart of the village, to the Igu, the traditional ruler. Merima listens intently, her curiosity piqued. The Igu is a figure of great authority in Ada, one whose decisions affect not just the market, but the entire village. The Igu's wisdom is respected by all, but few outsiders have ever had the courage to approach him for help. You want me to go to the Igu? Merima asks, unsure. What if he doesn't listen to me? What if he sides with the local women instead? Eme nods gently. It is a risk, but it is a risk worth taking. The Igu values fairness, and he respects those who stand their ground. If you present your case honestly, if you show him the truth of what has happened to you, he will listen. Merima's mind races. The idea of speaking directly to the Igu seems daunting, but M.A's encouragement gives her the strength to consider it. The Igu is the only one in Ada with enough power to stop the sabotage and bullying. If she wants to continue her trade, if she wants to prove that she belongs in this village, she must take this step. After a moment of silence, Merima makes her decision. I will go to the Igu, she says, her voice firm. I have nothing left to lose. It's time for someone to stand up for what's right. Eme smiles, her eyes gleaming with approval. You have the heart of a true trader, Merima. And remember, you're not alone. There are always allies waiting in the shadows, people who believe in what you're doing. But first, you must stand before the Igu, and when you do, speak with the truth in your heart. Merima nods, the weight of her decision settling in. The journey to the Igu's compound will not be easy, and the path ahead is uncertain. But for the first time since her arrival in Ada, she feels a flicker of hope. She has a chance to be heard, a chance to change the course of her fate. With Eme's words echoing in her mind, Merima begins to prepare for the most important meeting of her life, the second sabotage. It is early in the morning when Merima arrives at the market, her heart heavy with the weight of the upcoming meeting with the Igu. She hopes that today might be the turning point, the moment when the tides of adversity finally begin to shift in her favor. But as she approaches her store, the sickening sight greets her. Her intricate beadwork, her finest creations, have been destroyed. The delicate necklaces, painstakingly woven with vibrant beads, lie shattered across her store. The beads, once carefully arranged in beautiful patterns, now scatter in disarray, some rolling into the dirt, others smashed beyond recognition. The intricate craftsmanship that had earned her so much praise and admiration is now nothing but a heap of broken dreams. A lump forms in Merima's throat as she stares at the destruction. For a moment, it feels as though the ground beneath her feet has crumbled, but she refuses to let herself break. Taking a deep breath, she kneels down, carefully trying to gather the scattered bits. Each tiny piece, each shattered necklace, is a reminder of her struggle, her refusal to bow to the pressures of the local women. But as much as it hurts, she won't let it defeat her. From the corner of her eye, she sees On, standing with her group of followers, watching the scene unfold with a smug expression. On's eyes meet hers, and the coldness in them sends a shiver down Merima's spine. She knows this is no accident. This was a deliberate act of vengeance. Merima's inner struggle. Merima rises to her feet, her fingers still clutching a handful of broken beads. The sting of defeat is sharp, but she refuses to let it show. She locks eyes with On, who saunters over, her voice dripping with mockery. I see you're still trying to sell your worthless trinkets, On sneers, glancing at the shattered beadwork. I thought you'd get the message by now, but I guess you're just too stubborn to listen. Merima takes a deep breath, forcing her voice to remain steady. You can break my beads, On, but you can't break my spirit. I'll rebuild what you've destroyed, just as I've rebuilt everything you've tried to take from me. On laughs, a harsh, grating sound that echoes through the market. You think you're some kind of hero? You think the people here care about your integrity? They want what's easy, what's familiar. You don't belong here. And if you keep resisting, you regret it. Merima's pulse quickens, but she doesn't back down. She squares her shoulders, lifting her chin in defiance. I refuse to betray my customers. I won't compromise my principles for your selfish games. If that's what it takes to survive here, then I'd rather walk away with nothing. On's eyes flash with malice, and she steps closer, her voice dropping to a low, threatening growl. You don't get it, do you? I gave you a chance to join us, to share in the profits of the market. But now, you've made an enemy of me, and that's a mistake you regret. I won't stop until you leave Ada. And if I have to destroy everything you've worked for to do that, I will. The threat escalates. Merima stands tall, her heart racing with a mixture of fear and determination. On's words are harsh, but they don't break her. Instead, they solidify her resolve. She refuses to bow to this woman, to the maliciousness that seeks to drive her out. Ada is a place full of challenges, yes, but it is also full of opportunities. She knows that if she gives in now, she'll be no better than those who are trying to crush her spirit. I won't leave, Merima says, her voice steady. I'll stay and fight, no matter what you do. On's lips curl into a cruel smile as she steps back. Very well. But don't say I didn't warn you. You're about to see what real destruction looks like. As On turns to walk away, the weight of her threat hangs heavily in the air. Merima knows this isn't over. The sabotage has only just begun, and the stakes are higher than ever. The fear of further retaliation looms over her, but for the first time since she arrived in Ada, Merima feels something stronger than fear, resolve. She will face whatever comes next. She will rebuild what's been broken, and she will not let On or anyone else push her out of Ada. It's time to stand her ground and prepare for the next battle. Merima's petition to the eagle. Merima stands outside the large compound where the eagle, the traditional ruler of Ada, resides. Her heart beats loudly in her chest as she takes a deep breath, steeling herself for what she is about to do. The path that has led her here has been filled with obstacles, threats, and sabotage, but today, she is ready to stand before the most powerful figure in the village. With a steady hand, she clutches the bundle of documents and notes she has prepared, each one recounting the hardships she has faced. The threats from On, the sabotage of her goods, the failure of the market union to offer any real protection, it is all laid out for the eagle to see. She has been wronged, and she believes the eagle is the only one who can set things right. As she enters the courtyard and approaches the eagle's throne, the air is thick with anticipation. The eagle, an elderly man with a commanding presence, sits calmly, his eyes observing Merima with a mixture of curiosity and wisdom. His attendants step aside, and he gestures for her to speak. With courage, Merima begins her petition. Her voice, though steady, carries the weight of all the pain and frustration she has endured. She recounts every act of sabotage, the broken fabrics and beadwork, the mocking laughter of the market women, and the threats made by On. She tells him how the market union has ignored her pleas for help, and how, despite it all, she has refused to give up her dignity or her principles. I have come to you, Eagle, because I believe that justice should prevail, Merima says, her eyes meeting his. I have worked hard, traded honestly, and yet I have been made a target for no reason other than my success. I ask for your help in ensuring that I am not driven out of Ada. The eagle listens quietly, his expression unreadable. Merima waits in tense silence, hoping her words have reached him. The eagle's decision. After what seems like an eternity, the eagle finally speaks. His voice is firm, but not unkind. You have shown great resilience, Merima, he says, his gaze piercing. Your words ring with truth, and I see that you have been wronged by those who should have supported you, not torn you down. Ada is a place of trade, yes, but it is also a place of honor. The actions of these market women have dishonored this place, and I will not stand idly by while that happens. The eagle rises from his throne, his authority undeniable. He calls for the elders to assemble and demands an immediate hearing to address Merima's case. His decision is swift and resolute, and for the first time since her arrival in Ada, Merima feels a glimmer of hope. I will take action, the eagle declares. These women have broken the spirit of our market, and they will face justice. No one, no matter their position or influence, should be allowed to bully or threaten another in this village. You, Merima, will be given the protection and respect you deserve. Merima's heart swells with gratitude as she bows her head in respect. She can hardly believe what she's hearing. After all the hardships, all the moments where she doubted herself, the eagle has recognized her struggle and promised to take a stand. A new beginning. The following days see rapid changes in Ada. The market women, led by On, are summoned to a public hearing, where the eagle lays down the law. The evidence Merima has presented is undeniable, and the market women are forced to confront their actions. They are reprimanded for their dishonor and warned that any further attempt at sabotage or harassment will not be tolerated. The power of the eagle's decision is immediate. The women, who once sneered at Merima and tried to destroy her livelihood, now see her with a new respect. On, who had been the most vocal in her attempts to drive Merima out, remains silent and avoids making eye contact with her. The fear of the eagle's wrath keeps them in check, and they have no choice but to back down. Merima's stall is no longer a target. She returns to the market, her goods now respected by all. Her beadwork, once shattered, is now displayed proudly in her store, and her fabrics, vibrant as ever, attract customers once more. Her reputation for high-quality goods and integrity spreads throughout Ada, and she is welcomed by the villagers, not as a foreigner to be feared, but as a respected businesswoman who has proven her worth. In the days that follow, Merima walks through the market with her head held high. The once hostile environment now feels different, more welcoming. The other traders, who had once watched her with skepticism, now greet her with respect. She knows her journey has been hard, but in the end, she has triumphed. Merima's strength has not only secured her place in the market, but it has also shown the people of Ada the power of standing firm in the face of adversity. The eagle's justice has brought peace to her, and now, as she looks to the future, she knows that the path ahead is one she will walk with confidence. Her success is no longer in question. It is a testament to her resilience, her integrity, and the justice that has been served. Ada, for all its challenges, has become a place where Merima truly belongs. And though there will always be new battles to face, she is no longer afraid. She is ready for whatever comes next.